Yeah, man. So, Blueface and Chrisean has been all over the media lately. Their relationships everywhere. And during the No Jumper video, Chrisean Rock got thrown out. But we just gonna talk about what led up to that incident. Right here, you see Sharp and you see Gina, and everybody just introducing each other, and they're talking about how Chrisean and Blueface, baby, is the hottest couple on social media right now. They're the hottest couple. So right off the bat, Krishan comes onto the no jumper set, and she's crying and stuff. So Sharp is like, why are you crying? Like, what's all the tears for? And she's like, I don't know. It can be either I'm pregnant or if it's my period. And Sharp's just like, I don't think you can be on your period and be pregnant at the same time. So it's gonna be either or. And right then and there, it started into a back and forth already off the back. And she's just like, I'm telling you what it is. I don't know if I'm pregnant or if it's my period. And basically she had to explain to Sharp like, my period's probably coming or I'm pregnant, because at first he wasn't getting, like, you can't be pregnant on your period, like it just doesn't work like that. So Sharp could tell, like, right off the back that she was getting kind of combative, so he decided to switch up the conversation. Honestly, it was Gina that had to explain like what Krishan was probably trying to get at. And so he switched the conversation. He's like, yeah, I like your song too, your song Bob. I seen that you can do more than just throw hands. Like, you can actually make some good music. Tries to, yeah. So he tries to, compliment her to bring down the vibe that it was turning into a little bit, uh, if I can say so. He didn't want Krishan to think that he was trying to attack her. Okay, so then Gina's like, yeah, you're gonna get your flowers today, Krishan. We're proud of you. So then Sharp's like, yeah, how does it feel to go from like having nothing and basically being nobody to being like this star now? And Krishan's like, yeah, I just give glory to God. Yeah, so then Sharp's like, then why are you crying? Like, why are you sad? Krishan is like, I'm just emotional right now. It's either I'm pregnant or my period. And so Sharp's like, okay, yeah, I get it. Because Krishan's like, I just told you you don't get it. And Sharp's like, yeah, I get it. But I just know that period and pregnancy don't go hand in hand. Yeah, so this is the point where Krishan is explaining again. It's either this or that. And Gina comes out and it's like, okay, yeah, so what she's saying is her period is coming or she is pregnant. And Gina's like, oh yeah, because next week is going to be my emotional time. So then Gina's like, well, congratulations if your period doesn't come. This is where Gina brings up the fact that Krishan tweeted that she was going to get married. Then she asks, are you planning a wedding? And Blueface is like, I don't know, like, we planning a wedding? We getting married? Everyone chuckles and they just like, well, Sharp is just like, she's crazy, because Krishan just looks up in the sky and just laughs about it. And then it's just like, so are we getting married on Zeus? That's what Blueface asks. And Krishan's like, I'm getting married in October. That's what I said. Then Sharp says, he goes in and say, I don't mind being the pastor. So yeah, Sharp is just like, I don't mind being the pastor and signing off. That'd be a beautiful thing. And then he says, well, let me just be real with y'all. When I first saw y'all, I thought y'all was just doing y'all thing, getting y'all money. But now, as I watched your episodes and things, I can tell that you're actually in love with each other. And you just like any other people, in love with each other, going through things. And then Sharp adds that people just love watching you. Like, they don't care if you're just sitting there watching each other. People are gonna watch you. They love just watching you guys being together. And Sharp reiterates that he once thought that they were just together again and that they were just getting their bread. And so he says now that he watched and he's been paying attention, he can tell that they really rock with each other. Krishan says, yeah, it's never about the money. And Sharp's like, of course. So Gina says, what is keeping you together? And Krishan's like, love. Sharp looks at both of them and said, okay, well, yeah, I've been in this before. That it's a thing that people maybe don't understand. And it's basically like a traumatic bond. Something happened where that's it's holding you guys together. And Sharp adds that traumatic bonds can bring people together too. Krishan is like, okay, what are you talking about? Being traumatically rich? And Sharp is just like, no, it doesn't have to be financially. It can be something, maybe mentally. And yeah, he's like something mentally that's going on that bonded y'all. And Krishan just asks like, what bonded us? So then, you know, Sharp I mean, not Sharp, I'm sorry. Blueface and Krishan is like, nah, I don't think it's traumatic bond. And Krishan is just like, yeah, unless we fight. And Blueface is just like, yeah, I don't think we have a traumatic bond. So then Blueface is just like, yeah, I don't think we have a traumatic bond. I think it's, it's an underground. Like when I found her, she was underground. And, Krishan is just kind of laughing. And Sharp is like, yeah, for sure. That's a good way to put it. So he just like, we have an underground relationship. And then Gina asks, okay, so what do you mean by underground? And then Blueface is just like, well, Krishan is like, yeah, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And then Gina asks, like, secret? Okay, and this is where, Krishan's just asking around the room. She's asking for shots, out of the interview. And Blueface answers Gina's question. And she's like, yeah, I just mean undiscovered. And yeah, so Blueface is like, the odds were always against us. And yeah, Blueface is like, yeah, exactly. So we have a natural bond because of it. And Blueface asks that we're just being the underdog. And Krishan is still like on the side asking for a shot. Sharp gets Krishan the shot, and she says she basically wants the bottle. Gina asks, "How do you guys feel about the Bobby and Whitney basically comparison?" And Blueface answers the question, basically saying like it's not like we're drug induced. Like I'm not feeding her anything to have her going like this. She just basically always like this, like lit, like fried. And Krishan looks and like, why are you talking about me like that? And he says, well, Blueface says that, yeah, Ike and Tina's relationship was basically drug based, and Krishan looks and says, well, we're sober. Meanwhile, she is drinking a Hennessy. So technically, they're not completely sober. They still, indulge in drinking and smoking weed. And then Sharp says that, well, yeah, y'all don't look like any crackheads to me. And Gina says the same thing. And Blueface is like, well, nah. And then Blueface is like, well, yeah, we just a couple that people won't agree with, so I understand that, just like the Ike and Tina. And then Sharp is like, yeah, people love watching things that they don't agree with. And yeah, this is where Gina and Sharp were talking about the tweet that Blueface made. And then Blueface quotes exactly what it is. And he's like, I love how people talk about me and Rock being on the show is a bad idea, but they love watching it. And then he's talking about how it was, I mean, well, they're like, who? And then he said, academics for sure. And this is when Sharp was like, yeah, so me and Gina been in the media world today a lot. So yeah, we understand that. We get bits and parts of that as well. And then Gina's like, well, anytime I speak well upon you guys, meaning Krishan and Blueface, I get dragged. And yeah, Blueface was just like, it doesn't matter. Like I understand why they do it. It's profit. So any any media or any exposure is basically, I mean, it's good. And this is where Sharp was just basically like, I don't think you guys do anything for views. It just you guys are just crazy together. Y'all love each other, and y'all don't do any of this for views. And then Blueface is like, yeah, nah, we just have a lot of moments. So right here, this is where Blueface is like, the thing I like about you, Sharp, you stick to what your initial reason for the interview is about. These other podcasters do things like say it's gonna be one thing in the beginning, and then when you get there, it's like they switch up the whole set about like what was actually initially there for. And he was like, yeah, man, that's what I really like about you. And he's like, these other podcasters, like DJ Akademiks, like he'll be all about me and saying saluting what I do and things like that. And then when I get there, well, basically that's not the word to use, but then he's like, well, when I get there, it's like he switch it up and be like, oh, I don't think it's a good idea. You guys shouldn't be here. And Blueface was talking about how these academics acts weird later, and Sharp was like, "Yeah." So these academics be like, "Yeah, I rock with you. You're cool." And then 2 minutes later, he'd be like, "Bro, I put my foot on all their necks. It doesn't make any sense." And Krishan is just like, "Yeah, DJ academic is weird." And then everybody just agrees that he's weird. And Sharp is like, yeah, so you're just waiting for your moment. That's how he acts. And he's like, I understand. Everybody has a job. And I guess his job is just being passive aggressive.
And then Gina continues to go on with the list of her interview questions, and she's like, "We just watched the episode 4 of Crazy in Love, and what the people want to know. We're going to continue that in the next video."